This is Law of Attraction Explored. I'm Tim Grimes. If you're liking the show and getting something out of it, please share it with people who you think might be interested. The stuff we're talking about is unique, and I know that it is the kind of advice and information that a lot of people are looking for who are interested in the law of attraction, but just are unable to find. So if you think you know people who might be interested, or if you want to post this on social media, it's greatly appreciated, and it will help spread the word about this show and this wonderful information. If you'd like to contact me personally, you can visit radicalcounselor.com or email me at info@radicalcounselor.com. Enjoy the episode. So I thought we would have a little bit of a more meditational episode today. And we can start that just by doing what we always do, which is just relaxing our body and mind in whatever way we see fit. Sit or lie down and just relax. If you're moving while you're listening to this, just relax your body as you move. And while you do this, while you just relax, vibe out, as I like to say, there might be all these thoughts going through your head. You might still mentally seem scattered and all over the place. Perhaps something is bothering you mentally and you're thinking about it. Perhaps you seem very unfocused. Or perhaps physically something's annoying you or bothering you. And perhaps even you're in pain. And the purpose of these type of meditations when we do them is just to realize that that doesn't matter. It's okay. That stuff can be going on, and I'm sorry if it's bothersome to you. I'm not trying to make light of it, but the point is that you can still meditate in this way, even with all this stuff happening. And we can still just relax. Let our physical sense of relaxation start to relax everything else. And just take it easy, you know? There is nothing you have to do right now. Any thought that's going through your head, it's cool. It doesn't matter. Don't judge the content of your thoughts right now. Don't judge the reactions of your body if it's bothering you. Understand that that's okay. Just relax into what's happening right now. You can have your eyes open or closed. You can do whatever. It's all good. I guess when people talk about like non-judgmental awareness, this is kind of what they're talking about. I just like to say it's all good, man. So we're in this meditative space. And I thought I would actually go over a fair amount of information, read a couple of rather long excerpts from Psycho-Cybernetics. And I thought just, I was kind of vibing out and just getting into this relaxed space would really underscore what we're about to hear, the advice that Maxwell Maltz is about to share with us. We've talked about this before, but let's just go at it from this calm, relaxed space. What I'm going to start reading from is the chapter in Psycho-Cybernetics titled Do-It-Yourself Tranquilizers That Bring Peace of Mind. Do-it-yourself tranquilizers that bring peace of mind. Maltz writes in this chapter, each person needs a quiet room inside his own mind, a quiet center within him, like the deep of the ocean that is never disturbed, no matter how rough the waves may become on the surface. This quiet room within, which is built in imagination, works as a mental and emotional decompression chamber. It depressurizes you from tensions, worry, pressures, stresses, and strains, refreshes you, and enables you to return to your workaday world better prepared to cope with it. A little bit later on, he says, one of the most beneficial prescriptions that I have ever given patients is the advice to learn to return into this quiet, tranquil center. And one of the best ways that I have found for entering this quiet center is to build for yourself, in imagination, a little mental room. Furnish this room with whatever is most restful and refreshing to you. Perhaps beautiful landscapes, if you like paintings, a volume of your favorite verse, if you like poetry. The colors of the walls are your own favorite pleasant colors. Our own little quiet room. Do you have a quiet room that you can return to in your imagination? Because you can start so easily to do this. And in my experiences, this quiet room, Maltz says to create a room. But I think it can also just be a peaceful landscape. For instance, I have a beach in my mind and some nice limestone rocks that overlook the waves hitting the shore. And that's my quiet room. At least a lot of the time. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a room inside, in my experiences. The larger point is what's important. We can start to make it a practice. Emphasis on practice. To retire to this quiet room, this quiet landscape, frequently, meaning perhaps once a day in our imagination, or perhaps several times a day. And we can just spend time there doing whatever we want. But first and foremost, we can just spend time there being, or vibing out, as I like to say, which is exactly what we're doing right now in this meditational type of exercise. And if you bring yourself to this quiet room every day, you get more and more accustomed to it, to the great peace of it, to the great calmness and relaxation of it. And this translates into the rest of your life. That's what Maltz is talking about. And that's what I'm talking about right now. Recently I read something else from Psycho-Cybernetics, from the chapter Imagination, the first key to your success mechanism. And listen to this paragraph. I'm going to read it again. And let's listen to it in light of this discussion of creating a quiet room in our imagination that we can return to as a practice day after day. Maltz wrote, "This exercise builds new quote-unquote memories or stored data in your midbrain and central nervous system. It builds a new image of self. After practicing it for a time, you will be surprised to find yourself, quote-unquote, acting differently, more or less automatically and spontaneously, without trying. This is as it should be. You do not need to try or make an effort now in order to feel ineffective and act inadequately. Your present inadequate feeling and doing is automatic and spontaneous because of the memories, real and imagined, you have built into your automatic mechanism. You will find it will work just as automatically on positive thoughts and experiences as on negative ones. This means that when you practice returning to your quiet room, when you are in your quiet room and feel relaxed, your automatic mechanism will start to cultivate and understand and implement these positive thoughts and experiences that you're having in your quiet room. When you're just in your quiet room, vibing out, relaxing, or doing whatever you want to do. So let's now go back to the chapter, Do-It-Yourself Tranquilizers That Bring Peace of Mind. And again, of course, you should refer to this chapter whenever you want. Let's think about this again in light of our imaginative quiet room and returning to it frequently throughout the day or once a day or whenever we see fit. So Maltz writes, your first aid kit. Carry these thoughts with you as a sort of first aid kit. Inner disturbance, or the opposite of tranquility, is nearly always caused by over-response, a too sensitive alarm reaction. You create a built-in tranquilizer or psychic screen between yourself and the disturbing stimulus when you practice not responding, letting the telephone ring. In other words, when you practice relaxation, when you practice non-reactivity instead of reactivity, it becomes progressively easier to be consistently relaxed. In an earlier episode, I mentioned that telephone ringing metaphor that Maltz shared, and I'll link to it. Maltz went on to write for our first aid kit for relaxation. He wrote, you cure old habits of over-response. You extinguish old conditioned reflexes when you practice delaying the habitual, automatic, and unthinking response. Practicing relaxation enables you to delay your reactive response and progressively become more non-reactive in your day-to-day life. Maltz goes on to write for the next part of your first aid kit. Relaxation is nature's own tranquilizer. Relaxation is non-response. Learn physical relaxation by daily practice. Then, when you need to practice non-response in daily activities, just, quote-unquote, do what you're doing when you relax. That's really it right there. That is what we're talking about. Relaxation is non-response. When we're in our quiet room, imaginatively, we are non-responding. We are non-reactive. And we get more and more used to being non-reactive, relaxed, and non-responsive when we're in this imaginative state. Then it starts to translate into our day-to-day life when we're moving around and doing things, and when we come up against adverse situations. when stuff comes up, it becomes easier and easier to just do what we have been doing in our quiet room, which is practice inner relaxation and non-reactivity and vibing out. Maltz goes on to write, use the quiet room in your mind technique both as a daily tranquilizer to tone down nervous response and to clear your emotional mechanism of carryover emotions that would be inappropriate in a new situation. In other words, use your quiet room. Use your cultivated, non-reactive relaxation to become more and more capable of relaxing when you want and not carrying over strong negative emotions into the next thing you have to do. Your quiet room enables you to let go of difficult feelings more easily because we can always retreat back into it. Maltz concludes this first aid kit by saying, stop scaring yourself to death with your own mental pictures. Stop fighting straw men. Emotionally respond only to what actually is here and now, and ignore the rest. That's great advice. And your inner quiet room is going to help you actualize in doing this.